Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers, Wiley says these 6 things to Willow in reaction to new Daddy Drew. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Wiley Corinthos may speak 6 words to Willow Corinthos and change her mind. Will Wiley have an unexpected reaction to new Daddy Drew Quartermain, making Willow reconsider living together? Fans of General Hospital will recall that Willow was hesitant to bring the kids and move in with Drew at first. Willow pumped the brakes because she was afraid about telling the kids that her marriage was finished. Willow eventually changed her mind and agreed to the move-in, but she still has a difficult assignment. Amelia Corinthos is too little to understand anything, but Wiley Corinthos is older and more aware of what is going on. Wiley currently believes that once Michael Corinthos heals from his injuries, he will return home so that they can be reunited as a family. Wiley believes that things will return to their previous state. Willow will eventually have to update Wiley on her divorce proceedings. Wiley will be dealt a severe blow when he learns that his parents are splitting up. Furthermore, Wiley will have to deal with Drew's new status as a father figure. Willow believes Drew is fantastic and may presume Wiley will be fine living in his place. Wiley, on the other hand, may stun Willow by making a surprising declaration. Given the circumstances, it's understandable that Wiley might be irritated and maybe lash out. That gets us to the 6 things Wiley may say to Willow when the time comes. I don't want a new daddy. It'd be good to see Wiley fully on Team Michael in this circumstance. Wiley might fight Drew's attempt to take Michael's place in their life. Drew is likely to propose to Willow in the near future, which could lead to even worse complications. Wiley may protest to Drew being his possible stepfather and wish Willow would reconcile with Michael instead. Will Wiley's perspective cause Willow to reconsider her decision to move in with Drew? General Hospital spoilers indicate that Willow will have a lot to think about shortly, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers, Charlotte steals Helena's dagger, and Sidwell loses control of Alexis' frame-up? According to General Hospital teasers, now that Charlotte Cassadine has been separated from Valentine Cassadine, she may be able to exhibit her nasty side again. This could set Charlotte on a bad path, so let's discuss about where her tale might go. Jen Sidwell seems to be interested in everything Cassadine, which could include Charlotte once she returns to Port Charles. It's easy to see Sidwell inviting Charlotte back to her former home and the stables at Windmere. Sidwell may have a plan involving Charlotte, but another of his plots could fall apart as a result of her involvement. What if Charlotte snoops and gets her hands on the blade Helena Cassadine used to murder Alexis Davis's mother? If Charlotte discovers the dagger's connection to Helena, she may get intrigued. We must not forget that Victor Cassadine bequeathed Helena's necklace to Charlotte in his will, so she wore it for a while and appeared to respect her twisted grandmother. Charlotte may renew her admiration for Helena and get hooked on pursuing Anna Devane again. Charlotte may develop spiteful thoughts after losing Valentine, making her determined to make Anna pay. If Charlotte does eventually swipe the dagger, she may find another use for it. Anything is conceivable if Charlotte becomes Helena's mini-me and allows her thoughts to wander to some unpleasant areas. Whatever the case, it would be intriguing if Charlotte opted to steal the dagger at some time. It could disrupt Sidwell's efforts to set up Alexis and cause havoc, but it would also add some drama to the plot. Will Sidwell lose control of his frame-up plot? Could Charlotte grab the dagger and use it on someone Sidwell didn't expect? According to our GH predictions, Charlotte's return to Port Charles will throw some surprises, so don't miss out on all the exciting news ahead. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Sidwell may need to make some strategy changes along the way. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, March 17th, Brennan saves Carly from poison, while Valentine's murder plot is derailed. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, March 17th, predict that Jack Brennan will save Carly Spencer from poison, thwarting Valentine Cassadine's murder attempt. Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan will also strategize, so let's talk about what's next in Port Charles. For starters, Trina Robinson may decide that she does not want to be alone after all. Emma Drake handed Trina the same book Spencer Cassadine had given her, thus her birthday party was filled with mixed emotions. Fortunately, Kai Taylor will brighten Trina's mood with one more birthday present, so she will appreciate him coming to her rescue. Speaking of rescues, Brennan will pull one off now that Carly has brought in a bottle of champagne. Carly assumes it's the room service they requested, but GH fans noticed Valentine lurking in the hallway after she closed the door. Thankfully, Brennan will see something is wrong and smash the champagne out of Carly's hand. There's a good likelihood it's poisoned, so Brennan should save Carly's life with his next move. Brooklyn Quartermaine will assert that Drew Quartermaine chose the wrong woman to fight with. No one beats Tracy Quartermaine for long. Giovanni Gio Palmieri will eventually speak with Tracy and propose that there may be a way to use the law to her advantage. Tracy may concede she is ahead of the game if she is already pursuing legal action to retaliate against Drew. In Monday's preview video, Anna Devane appears with a marshal to serve an arrest warrant, so we'll see if Drew is the one who ends up in a tough place. Sonny and Jason will meet for a strategy session. Sonny will have a critical inquiry as he considers someone's motivations. Why does he believe it's wise to go after my family? Sonny asks in Monday's promotional video. Will Sonny discuss about Drew, or will this involve more Sidwell drama? Drew and Sidwell are allies, so it may be a little of both. Meanwhile, devastating news will rock Harrison Chase's world. Will Chase receive any updates on Dante Falconeri, the father of the baby Brooklyn gave up for adoption? Chase may worry if he can really withhold something so important from Dante as he approaches a difficult decision. Regardless, General Hospital rumors indicate that Chase will have a lot to process, so he'll reflect on this revelation and make some guesses about what comes next. General Hospital spoilers: Rocco's rebellion will cause problems for Dante. It's not easy being a parent to teen children, and it's considerably more tough in this imaginary town of Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Rocco will revolt soon when everyone learns that Gio is also Dante's son. This will generate complications for everyone involved. The truth will soon be revealed: Gio is Brooklyn and Dante's son. Their adolescent romance resulted in a child they never knew about. The truth will turn everyone's worlds upside down. But now that the secret is out in the open, everyone's family dynamic will shift, notably Dante and his son Rocco. Even though the two boys already know each other, Rocco may become closer to Gio after learning that he is his brother. Alternatively, he may resent him. This tale may obviously go either way. Some General Hospital fans even remarked on the storyline, saying Rocco will feel even more left out after Gio is brought into the fold. Dante will be occupied with Gio, and Lulu with Charlotte. Another reader said Gio and Rocco had already been living together at the Quartermaines. Knowing they are brothers may actually bring them closer. Gio hasn't had any close family since his adoptive mother died. General Hospital spoilers: what happens next for Dante and his family? And then there was this comment: I agree, but even if they have a close relationship, it doesn't change the fact that Dante will most likely neglect Rocco in the same way that Lulu did. Lois had spent years keeping the truth concealed, but secrets never stayed hidden in Port Charles. Lois could feel the walls closing in as Brooklyn realized she had a child as a teenager. The confession to Chase had been the first crack in the foundation, and if her daughter discovered the truth, everything Lois had fought so hard to conceal would crumble. Brooklyn believed that her child had been put through a legitimate adoption agency, a carefully manicured narrative that Lois had long before created. The reality, however, was more messier. The infant had never been left with strangers, but rather within the family, as Lois and her mother, Gloria, had planned in a discreet, backroom deal. Giovanni Palmieri Gio had been reared with no awareness of his true origins, and Lois planned to keep things that way. But now, with Chase's assistance, Brooklyn was considering a search. That was something Lois simply could not accept. At first, she pondered sabotaging the attempt in minor ways, such as misdirecting leads, stating records had been lost, or even dismissing the possibility that the child had died early. But even she found those possibilities too cruel. Brooklyn was already overwhelmed by the fact that she had a child at all. Sending her down a path of heartbreak was more than Lois could bear. That's when the desperate notion took shape. If Brooklyn persisted on a reunion, Lois may oblige, but not with the genuine child. This would not be the first time someone from Port Charles had played this game. Valentine had once misled Nina with a fictitious daughter, and while the scheme eventually failed, it worked well enough for a while. If Lois could locate the proper person, someone ready to act as Brooke Lynn's child and convincing enough to sell the lie, she could preserve the truth while providing her daughter with the closure she desired. The difficulty would be in the details. Brooke Lynn didn't know if she had a son or a daughter, giving Lois some leeway. If she wanted to keep the scenario as realistic as possible, she may employ a young man to perform the role. If she wanted to remove herself even more from Gio, she may introduce a daughter instead. In either case, the script would be straightforward: a heartfelt reunion, assurances of a happy life with a loving adoptive family, and a convenient explanation why staying in touch would be difficult, perhaps a job overseas or a desire not to upset the life they had made. Lois knew it was risky. If Brooke Lynn developed an attachment and insisted on developing the relationship, the entire hoax may unravel. But what options did she have? The alternative was the truth, which she simply couldn't accept. She couldn't let Brooke Lynn know that her child had been right under her nose the entire time. Giovanni, her close friend, the young guy who had become a member of the Quartermaine family, was her son. The stakes were higher than ever, and Lois was determined to do everything it took to protect her secret. But secrets had a way of creeping through the seams, and no deceit was permanent. Brooke Lynn was going to find answers. The only question was whether Lois could control the narrative before the truth dominated her. Spoilers for General Hospital include reality checks, unpleasant realizations, and unexpected visits. General Hospital spoilers and updates for the week of Monday, March 17th through Friday, March 21st include reality checks, terrible realizations, and unexpected guests. Jocelyn Jacks faces a reality check, Anna Devane has an unpleasant conclusion, and Alexis Davis receives an unexpected visit. Monday, March 17th, Carly Spencer is in danger, and Valentine Cassadine makes a mistake. Valentine slipped into Jack Brennan's Metro Court suite, where Jack and Carly had just had a beautiful evening. Meanwhile, at Valentine's old house, Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan are brainstorming. Harrison Chase's world has been shaken somewhere, most likely at the Quartermaine estate. In the meantime, Kai Taylor gives Trina Robinson a gift. Reality checks and dilemmas Tuesday, March 18th. Jocelyn has a reality check, since she is most likely still at WSB training, while Chase faces a decision back in Port Charles. In the meantime, Sasha Corbin confronts Jason. Lucas Jones is horrified. Could this have anything to do with his new boyfriend Marco? Valentine offers information. Could this information get him out of the trouble he's running from? Unpleasant realizations and bad news on Wednesday, March 19th. Anna receives an unpleasant realization. Could she have zigged instead of zagged? Meanwhile, Sonny receives some unpleasant news. What happened now? Meanwhile, Brennan is on the warpath. Might it be due to Valentine's revelation and Anna's realization? Nina Reeves also makes an offer to Willow Corinthos, her daughter. Laura Collins is persuasive. Confrontations and warnings on Thursday, March 20th. Brooke Lynn Chase confronts her mother, Lois Cerullo. Jason warns someone else. In the meantime, Sonny and Laura reconnect. Anna continues to be insistent. Lulu Spencer, relieved to have Charlotte Cassadine back home, is taken aback. Unexpected visits and possible allies on Friday, March 21st. Alexis receives an unexpected visitor, and if it's Jen Sidwell, he'll be an unwelcome one. Elsewhere, Drew discovers a potential ally. Who could it be? Meanwhile, Lucky Spencer and Elizabeth Baldwin explore their romance, despite being frequently interrupted. Nina has reservations. Perhaps she regrets the recent offer she made to her daughter Willow, or are her reservations about something else entirely? Elsewhere, Portia Robinson briefs Ava Jerome on what they might be doing against Drew. Brennan had never shied away from confrontation, but this time he might have gone too far. He basically sealed his fate when he stepped between Sidwell and Carly, offering a warning laden with the weight of prior violence. Sidwell wasn't easily intimidated. He was not the type to ignore an insult. He was the sort to retaliate, and that was exactly what he intended. Carly had noticed the tension, even if Brennan dismissed her concerns. She'd seen Sidwell's eyes darken as Brennan threatened him, as well as the tiny twitch of his jaw as he took in the information. She knew he wouldn't just walk away. He would wait, plot, then strike when the timing was right. That moment occurred when she least expected it. The evening had begun as something unusual for Carly, normal, even romantic. Brennan had planned a peaceful night, hoping to chisel out something special between them despite the commotion that seemed to surround them both. For a short while, it worked. Laughter, light talk, the kind of connection that temporarily distracted her from the fact that danger was always present. Then came the interruption. Sidwell never made a scene unless he wanted to, which he did that night. He announced his presence in a way that made Carly feel uneasy even before she saw him. A shift in the atmosphere, a drop in temperature, a sense that something dreadful was about to happen. When he finally walked closer, his smirk thin and his eyes steely, she realized he wasn't just giving her another warning. Brennan, despite his bluster, had not expected Sidwell to be so audacious. Not here. Not now. But before he could properly understand the threat and react, the action had already been taken. A single, exact strike, quick, violent, and effective. The sound of a struggle barely registered as Brennan swayed, his body giving in to the anguish. Carly's breath froze in her throat as she watched him stumble, eyes wide with surprise. Blood was always present in these situations, and when Brennan slumped, it pooled beneath him, dark and cruel. Sidwell did not linger. He'd made his point. As swiftly as he had appeared, he was gone, leaving Carly to collapse to her knees beside Brennan, pressing her hands to the wound in a frantic bid to keep him here, with her. For the first time, she knew how much she feared losing him. The hospital was a flurry of activity, anxious voices, and rushed bodies. Carly had been here before, too many times, to see people she cared about fight for their lives. The waiting, the uncertainty, the helplessness, it never got better. Brennan's fate was in the balance. If he lived, he'd have a new enemy to deal with, and the struggle was far from over. Carly was not prepared to consider the possibility of him not doing so. GH spoilers, Kelly Monaco says she's ready to talk about anything. General Hospital spoilers state that Kelly Monaco, Sam McCall, has begun her next project, and fans are creating lists. Kelly has recently begun a new endeavor that will allow her to share her perspective on what transpired at GH when she was let off last fall. Fan has been waiting to hear Kelly's side of the story and hopes to receive it now. Kelly Monaco promised fans they hadn't seen the last of her when it was all over at General Hospital. Kelly's parting video promised that fans hadn't seen the last of her. Monaco is now ready to discuss, and nothing is off limits, according to an Instagram post from March 13th. Kelly Monaco announced a new podcast, Bad Bunnies, with Shauna Mokler. The post continues, unfiltered, untamed, unapologetic. We're bringing you Hollywood secrets, outrageous stories, pop culture gossip, and candid conversation. Nothing is off limits. Kelly is also seeking fans for input, saying, "But before we release our first episode, we want to hear from you. What themes do you want us to talk about? Reality television chaos? Dating disasters? Hollywood drama? Please let us know in the comments. What do fans want from Kelly Monaco?" It is unsurprising that Monaco fans want to know what transpired at GH. Kelly swore to reveal the truth once she was booted from the show. Fans understand that the manner Monaco's exit was handled is simply unacceptable. Sam McCall's death may have been much better. Kelly and her fans deserve a lot more. Fans have been waiting for answers for over 5 months, and they are hoping Kelly is ready to spill the beans on everything that happened behind the scenes. After all, Kelly described her firing as retaliation at its finest. Kelly promised supporters a thorough statement explaining what happened, and fans are hoping that is finally it. Fans pushed to keep Kelly Monaco on the show, using petitions, billboards, and even renting a truck to wait outside the studio. However, it was to no use, and fans were forced to witness not just Sam's death but also her family's grief. They even had to wait for an autopsy to determine what caused her death. Talk about overkill, it seemed as if they wanted Sam to never return, which irritated supporters even more. It is now time to provide supporters the answers they have been asking for. Will Monaco finally say her piece? Will fans finally get to hear Kelly's side of the story that ended her 25 years at ABC and 21 years with Sam McCall? Carly Spencer had experienced discomfort before, but this was different. This was an all-consuming worry that caused her chest to tighten and her hands to tremble when she was not paying attention. Jocelyn was missing. Not simply off the grid, or ignoring her calls, gone. There are no texts, messages, or anything. At first, she tried to convince herself that it was nothing, that Jocelyn was simply caught up in whatever assignment Brennan had enlisted her for. However, when the hours turned into a whole day and then longer, worry set in. She had gone through too much, lost too many people, to disregard the warning signs. And there was another issue. Cyrus Renaud had also vanished. Carly suspected that nothing in this place was a coincidence. She had been present as Jocelyn squared off against Anna, with Cyrus lurking in the background, watching. Now that both of them were gone, Carly couldn't shake the suspicion that the two disappearances were linked. There was only one person she could turn to, Jack Brennan. Brennan had positioned himself as someone she could trust, a man who had repeatedly stepped in to clean up messes and bring people out of impossible situations. But Carly had learned the hard way that trust was a dangerous thing, and Brennan was not the type of man to give without expecting something back. When she confronted him and demanded answers, he barely moved. He listened, his countenance unreadable, before responding vaguely enough to make her nervous. "She's out there," he explained. "And I'll find her." That should have been plenty, but it wasn't. Carly wasn't sure which terrified her more, Brennan's lack of knowledge about Jocelyn's whereabouts or his knowledge of her. Carly had no idea, no way of knowing, that Brennan had planned this from the beginning. Jocelyn had been recruited under questionable circumstances. Brennan had misled her, forced her into the field, and told her that this was her destiny. But her training had been scant, if it had ever been at all. Instead of sending her to a controlled environment, he threw her into the fire. Now she was alone. Jocelyn had been abandoned outside of Port Charles to navigate a world she was unprepared for. She had entered thinking she had control, but she rapidly realized that control was an illusion. Brennan realized he needed to act quickly. Carly's concern was a problem, one that he needed to address before she delved too deeply. He would bring Jocelyn out, give Carly just enough evidence to allay her fears, and then send the youngster back out into the falsehoods and danger. Because Jocelyn wasn't just another agent, but a pawn. Laura Wright, a General Hospital star, is really frustrated about this. General Hospital News strongly suggests that Laura Wright has been exceedingly frustrated recently, and that she has a good cause for it. Laura Wright, a General Hospital star, is really frustrated about this. As many General Hospital fans know, Laura met the love of her life, Wes Ramsey, on the set of the iconic ABC soap. She is most recognized for her role as Carly Corinthos, and Wes played Peter August until his contract expired. The two of them developed a romance on the set of the show, which swiftly blossomed off-screen. Laura and Wes have been together for several years and appear to be extremely happy in their relationship. In fact, they appear to be madly in love with each other. However, many people are left wondering whether they will ever take the next step together. It's been more than 7 years, but it appears they have no intentions to make things official and marry anytime soon. Fans can't help but wonder if this is what Laura wants or if something is preventing them from marrying. If they've been together for this long, they might as well strengthen their bond, as so many other couples have and continue to do on a daily basis. That, or they may simply be adopting a more modern attitude to love. Why complicate something that is working well? If Laura Wright and Wes Ramsey are okay with being merely boyfriend and girlfriend, then so be it. We are confident that their followers wish the best for them as well. General Hospital News, what's next for Laura Wright and Wes Ramsey? Laura Wright has not yet commented on the situation, but we will keep you updated with all of the newest information as it becomes available. Keep an eye on this space. Willow Corinthos has spent many years defining herself through the men in her life. First, there was Chase, the man she had once thought would be hers forever. Then came Michael, her best friend turned lover, the father of her children, with whom she had fought so hard to construct a future. And now Drew, a man who had swooped in at her weakest point and convinced her that he was the missing link. But, standing in the ruins of everything that had come before, Willow began to realize the truth. The cycle needed to end. Her children needed to come first. Wiley and Amelia had already experienced so much. They had witnessed her battle with cancer, as well as their father's absence from their everyday life for personal treatment. Michael's absence was only temporary, but Willow understood that for a youngster, even a brief separation may feel like an eternity. It was up to her to ensure that they felt safe, that they never questioned Michael's love for them, and that they knew he would return. That meant not replacing him. Drew's goals were clear. He wanted a life with her. A house, a family, a new beginning. But Willow had noticed a pattern. She had always let herself be swept up in the promise of stability rather than finding her own footing. She thought she needed saving, but the truth was that she needed space. The old Willow would have accepted Drew's offer without hesitation, assuring herself that it was the next natural step. However, that version of her had made too many blunders. This time, she decided differently. Moving in with Nina was not a simple decision. Their relationship remained delicate, based on cautious movements forward and the constant possibility of previous scars returning. But Willow knew one thing for certain: Nina, for all of her flaws, had no ulterior motivation in regards to Drew. Nina had no vested interest in their relationship, unlike Carly and those in the Quartermaine family who considered him as an asset or liability. It provided Willow the clarity she required. Drew was not the man she believed he was. He had been a reassuring presence during the most difficult times of her illness, but she now recognized how he had taken advantage of it. He had made himself necessary in her life, pushing Michael out and taking his position. And she'd let him. No more. Willow made a long-awaited decision to choose herself. She wasn't getting into another relationship or utilizing someone else as a crutch. She was focused on her children, restoring the stability they had lost, and discovering her own strength. Valentine waits outside Brennan's suite. Christina Corinthos Davis witnessed Sonny Corinthos' doctor's visit, while Valentine Cassadine remained outside Jack Brennan's suite. Brooklyn Quartermaine entered the Quartermaine kitchen to see Gloria Cerullo, Lois Cerullo, and Giovanni Gio Palmieri all playing bingo together. Brooklyn lashed out after Gio departed because Lois and Gloria were acting as if everything was normal when they'd been keeping such a big secret from her. Gloria defended Lois for keeping her informed about the baby adoption and insisted that the news be kept quiet. Later, Gloria told Lois that Brooklyn's behavior demonstrated the importance of keeping the Gio truth hidden. If Brooklyn found out the remainder of the tale, Gloria basically predicted that it would be devastating. Christina and Rocco Falconeri came at Sonny's residence as he was wrapping up a health checkup with Isaiah Gannon. Christina became concerned about Sonny's need for a house call, but he minimized it and pretended to be under the weather. Christina quizzed Isaiah about whatever was medically wrong with Sonny after he left the room with Rocco, but she was unable to get any information from him. Christina attempted to deceive Sonny by believing Isaiah had confirmed something terrible, but Isaiah corrected her. Christina pressed Sonny for a confession after Isaiah departed with Rocco, and he opened them about his heart condition and forthcoming surgery. Christina recognized Sonny needed to reduce his stress and assumed that was why he quit the custody battle. On the next episode of GH, Brennan offered his suite to Carly Spencer, who apologized for overthinking things and wanted to pursue her romance with him. Brennan was initially hesitant, but he quickly gave in and allowed passion to erupt in bed with Carly. While Brennan was in the shower, Carly went to retrieve the champagne that had been left on the room service cart outside the door. Valentine appeared around the corner after Carly had returned inside with the bottle. Valentine seemed to have arranged for a poisoned bottle to be delivered to Brennan's suite. Trina Robinson was on a date night with Kai Taylor when Ava Jerome called with an emergency. Trina went to unlock the gallery door because Ava was apparently barred out. However, it turned out to be a surprise birthday party, which Trina was overjoyed to share with so many of her loved ones. Kai, Stella Henry, Portia Robinson, Curtis Ashford, Laura Collins, Gio, and Emma Drake were all present. Trina received an emotional present after discussing with Laura the importance of remembering Spencer Cassadine. Emma offered Trina a book Spencer had given her as a gift, so Trina eventually went home and grieved on her own. Ava assured Portia that Drew's enemies would deal with him because he was making so many of them. Portia hoped that someone would do something soon because Drew was making her life difficult. After taking Charlotte Cassadine to Laura's house, Lulu Spencer invited Laura to a surprise. Laura was pleased to see her granddaughter. When Rocco arrived later, he had a joyous reunion with Charlotte as well. According to General Hospital spoilers, Charlotte's return to Port Charles may require some difficult adjustments, so keep an eye out for any unexpected twists. Carly is in danger, and Chase's world is rocked. On the next episode of General Hospital, Carly is in danger, and Chase's world is turned upside down. Sunny and Jason also engage in brainstorming. Next on General Hospital. If Carly is in danger, as the previews for Monday's episode indicate, it must be because she is keeping strange company, which she is. During Friday's episode, Carly overcame her own overthinking and connected with Brennan on a whole new level. But we all know Brennan is a spy, and we all know how simple it is for him to make enemies. Is this how the Metro Court co-owner finds herself in danger? Yup. Valentine is on the loose, which does not bode well for Brennan. Blindsided while Carly is in danger, Chase's world is upended. Perhaps this is the day Chase learns about his wife and partner. He is already aware of the infant Brooklyn abandoned more than 2 decades ago. However, he still has a lot to learn. Brooklyn and Dante, for example, were good friends while at summer camp. And Dante, the father of the newborn Brooklyn, gave up. If this happens, how will Chase react? Meanwhile, Valentine commits a mistake. In Valentine's world, miscalculations can spell the difference between life and death. When he goes for Brennan again, he has no idea that Carly could become collateral damage. If Brennan discovers that Valentine is responsible for the most recent attempt on his life, Charlotte's father will be unable to remain in Port Charles. He'll be forced to flee town once more. Thinking and gifting now that Charlotte has returned to PC, Jason can focus his attention on Sunny. In reality, the two had enough of drama to discuss. When Sunny and Jason brainstorm, they may discuss who is after the gangster. After all, they still have no idea who burned down his penthouse. They aren't persuaded it's Sidwell. If not him, who? Finally, Trina was overjoyed for her birthday until Emma gave her a gift that triggered and drove her into a Spencer spiral. It even led her to leave her surprise party early. Don't worry, though. Trina may be able to recover from her loss on Monday when she receives a present from Kai. The two have been adjusting into their new partnership wonderfully. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.